Hello and welcome to the Should I Play This Game podcast for the 13th of November 2023, episode 290. As always, joined by Steve. How are you, sir?
What up, bitch?
Okay.
It's November, it's Friday, it's Monday the 13th, run and hide!
Yes.
Moving on. That's the extent of my my jokes so far this week.
Excellent. If that's the...
I'm very situational in my ability to create humour.
Debatable.
Fuck you! See? Situational.
How you been?
No. Yeah, alright. I forgot to add so, okay. Couple things. Before we get into the games and shit, right? So I looked into the whole Windows 11 sitch. Alright? Because you talked about, I think it was last podcast, you talked how you rebooted your computer and all of a sudden, boom, Windows 11. What the fuck?
Mm.
So I went in and was like, because every time I've looked in that Windows Update section in the settings, it's always been, oh, your computer doesn't meet the specs. I'm like, fuck you, it doesn't.
Mm.
My computer meets the specs more than it is. What the hell? It turned out I needed to go into the motherboard's BIOS and turn on TPM or TMP.
Yeah, TPM is some security thing, I think, or something.
Yeah.
Some BIOS level thing.
So I went in, did that, updated to Windows 11, and now the Xbox button on the controller I've got actually works and brings up the game bar now.
Mm.
So maybe, just maybe, Xbox achievements from the Xbox app might actually show on the screen again. And I also learned something else while I was trying to buy the new Ninja Turtles animated movie. Mutant Mayhem came out earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out the Prime Video app on PC doesn't support 4K.
That's interesting. Okay.
It's fucking... I couldn't even buy the movie. It was like, your device doesn't support a UHD. I'm like, wait, what? So I went looking and there's a bunch of people yelling on Reddit about how fucked it is.
Mm.
So I installed the Prime Video app on the PlayStation 5.
I was able to buy it there, of course, because it's UHD. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I bought it on that. Because, I started up Mortal Kombat, the movie, the 2021 movie. And it just auto-played in 1080. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here?
Mm.
And yeah, the PC app doesn't support 4K, which I'm like, that's really stupid.
Yeah. Like it's... How is it any different to the one that's on the... So that means if you've got it on your PlayStation, you didn't have a UHD 4K television, you couldn't buy it either there? That's the implication, isn't it?
It is the implication, but like this... So like that PC's hooked up to the same TV.
Yeah, no.
So like I have no idea.
Weird.
I very nearly started watching Invincible because season 2 of Invincible's out, but only the first episode. They're doing weekly episodes. I'm like, I'm waiting until it all comes out and just smash that bitch. I want to watch Reacher now too. But anyway, I think those are the two main sort of non-usual things. That makes sense.
Mm.
I think.
So you've not been using Windows 11 till like last couple of weeks or something?
Literally last week and a half. Week and a half.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's fuck all difference outside of everything being in the middle.
Yeah, which you can actually change to be in the left. So it's not as if you can change that. Yeah, you can actually change where it is. So
I like the aesthetic difference of it's in the middle on this computer, but then I go out there on the Windows 10 machine on the TV, and it's like, ooh, it's in the corner. I'm simple. So it's like, haha, this computer's too shit to run Windows 11, which is not even remotely true. But I don't know. I like to tell myself that.
I think the only criteria for running Windows 11 is that TPM thing has to be there. I think is pretty much the only criteria.
Which is weird that it seemed to be shut off by default.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what exactly that... Let's go on a bit of a tangent here. What is that thing exactly? It is the Trusted Platform module.
Yeah.
It improves the, according to the Microsoft surprise, it is used by it is used to improve the security of it. It is used by services like BitLocker drive encryption. Ah, okay, so that's probably why they've. Um, yeah, interesting. So I wonder why it wouldn't be turned on by default. That's odd.
No idea.
Yeah, weird.
But
Yeah.
I know my way around the BIOS just enough to find it and turn it on.
And sometimes even in different BIOSes, they'll have a different name for the same thing. So you got to go and
Oh, even better.
yeah, so it's the same. It's the same thing being turned on, but a slightly different name or something. So you sort of got to
Sweet.
look. You got to look at the manual of that particular motherboard to go. Oh, they've ASUS call it this, MSI call it this, Gigabyte call it this kind of thing is what I think kind of happens. I think.
MSI had it under TPM or TMP, whatever the actual
Yeah.
acronym is.
Yeah.
I can say that because I did this is a MSI motherboard.
Yeah.
I could update the one out there and try and find it, but I also can't be bothered.
Alrighty, are you ready to go
Makes
through?
no difference to me.
Go through your games?
I don't know, not yet.
Oh yeah. Okay. Let's.
I don't have a good reason to. We could just sit around and just like shoot shit for a bit.
Yeah, we could, but about what?
That's a waste of time.
Waste of time. Games it is for you. How are you? How are you going? What are your games you been playing?
So, after we recorded, okay, so I explained the situation regarding the absence of a video on the Friday night show. We probably should explain that here, perhaps.
Oh yeah, it's my fault.
We tried to record a checkout of, you were driving it, I was sitting back looking.
Technically, we did record one. We did record one.
Okay, yeah, fair point. It was recorded.
It recorded, but the problem was it was just only Steve's audio. So
everybody wants to hear just me talking.
Yeah, so basically, it was just Steve in talking to the void and no responses on me or anything. So
was that a function of that that audio capture in OBS? You just forgot to change the settings on that?
Yeah,
or?
so it's just the OBS was not set. I think what I've discovered is this might be a weird issue with the Elgato. I think it is. If I ever restart my PC, it loses track of what my audio devices are called or something. You'll press a button. So, for example, I've got audio like buttons for my headset, buttons for the TV to play the audio through the TV, or through my monitor, I should say. Then one to play it through my optical output to my TV, or through my amp, actually. If I restart my PC and I go, I want to use the monitor, when I press the button on the Elgato, on the Stream Deck, rather than actually changing to the audio device, it comes up with a little, like, I can't work symbol. And I've got to go into Stream Deck, and reset up that particular button to be the right output. It does it every single time. It was doing before Windows 10. I'm pretty sure it was doing under Windows 10 as well. So I think it's a bug in the software, or I don't know what it is. So I think I probably.
Have you tried looking into it before?
No, it hasn't caused anything issue with me because it's never affected the headset before. But I think it did this time for some reason. I think it was working through.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. It was just odd that and I just didn't spot it in the corner of my eye because I've got OBS on a different monitor. I can always see it.
Yeah.
But I just didn't spot the fact that the audio from my end just wasn't doing anything at all. So
I can't even begin to count the number of times I've done it on the Friday shows. Like halfway through a Friday show, I'll switch the game, forget to change the audio input. So sometimes it'll just be 20 minutes of like silence except for me talking.
Yeah.
I've tried doing multiple different checkouts. Sometimes with RetroArch, sometimes with other shit. The Modern Warfare 3 beta fucking did it because it opened the Call of Duty launcher. I set the audio input for that. Loaded Modern Warfare 3,
then it changed,
and it was a different audio input.
Different audio input, yeah. So we're using when we do the audio, our checkout videos. We're using it's a beta as a part of Windows 10, but it's built into Windows 11, and that's the ability for Windows to split audio by application, basically.
Wait, if it's built into Windows 11, why does it still say beta in OBS?
It's beta in OBS. The integration is beta, not the thing itself.
Okay.
Which I assume at some point that'll go out of beta at some point. But anyway, so in OBS we can say choose an application audio and choose the game. But what can happen though is if the game you're literally choosing the the executable
Mm.
of the. I'm just going to go back to that. You're choosing the actual executable to monitor. And if that changes without you realizing, you'll hear everything because the game will still play audio to you, but
Mm.
OBS will go, I don't know where you that thing's not that thing is not pointing and making any noise more, but it'll still record it.
But you want to know the best part? Sometimes you don't need to change it.
Yeah, sometimes it just works and just picks it up. It's weird.
I've
Yeah.
literally done on during the Friday shows / streams. I'll change games, it'll work, and then some games it'll just go, yeah, nah, not working.
Yeah.
What? Fuck you. So yeah, that's what happened with City Skyline. You finished it. You're like, fuck,
Yeah,
audio, shit.
And I just
And
went.
I'm like, don't worry about it, dog. I've done it plenty.
I just played it back to make sure it was okay because I just want to make sure. And then, why is there no audio at all? Then you'd say something. I go, oh no, fuck.
Yep.
And all I just typed in Slack was fuck.
Yep.
Yep. I thought, and then so.
In fact, I'm pretty sure there's still archived videos on my Twitch that have that issue.
Okay.
I just didn't upload it to YouTube. I just fuck it.
Yeah.
So, if you want to see me fuck the audio input up, twitch.tv/enemy starship. Oh, fucking hell. So yeah, we tried to do that.
We tried to do
We
that.
were semi-successful.
Yeah, so we recorded a video of the game catcher. We recorded Steve's audio, nice and clear as a bell, and fucking nothing from me. So it was great.
Yep.
So
at some point we might try and maybe redo that.
We'll go back and have a look at that again because I'll when it gets to my games we'll get back into that City Skylines. But yeah, before we go into my games, let's do your games.
Let's go back to what we. Yep, there we go. So the whole setup was. I needed something chill and something short. I've had a tiny sticker tail for a little while. Literally 90 minutes long.
Oh, okay.
It's like a really dope little sort of Zelda-like, and you're collecting stickers, and you can pull the stickers out of your book and put them down in the environment, and they magically appear into existence.
Oh, okay.
So, you see the little bridge there that's part of the sort of
Yep.
key art? You can pull the bridge out and lay it down, and it becomes a bridge.
Oh, okay. So that's the puzzle aspect of it, to get across gaps and stuff. Oh, okay.
And it's just got a real neat little art style to it, and all that sort of stuff. I fucking forgot to email my notes to myself, so I'm going to be looking down on my phone like a dickhead. I'm on fire. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's just really, really chill. There's just some really nice platforming, sort of Zelda-like action. There's minimal combat, if any combat. It's literally about using the different stickers to traverse the environment, and solve puzzles and open up new routes to be able to go all over the joint.
Yep.
I got most of the achievements. I think I'm 1 or 2 short. But yeah, it's nothing particularly groundbreaking. It's nothing particularly earth-shatteringly original. It's just a nice little cozy adventure.
Mm.
And sometimes those are nice.
Yeah. Yep.
And it very much was.
Yeah,
so I really dug that.
It's relatively cheap, just under $15 Australian at the moment, so that's pretty good. And they've made.
It's a very nice, pleasant art style.
They made a game a couple of years back called Lonesome Village, which, looking at the art style, does look familiar to me. Has a little sort of.
I don't remember if I played that or not.
Little foxy-looking character.
Foxy! Bow, 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 bow. Like that Jimi Hendrix song, you know?
Mm.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, that was good.
Indeed it does. Next up. I sent you a message on Slack going, I don't want to shock you. That Ratchet and Clank, that's pretty good, So yeah, I played through Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart since the last we recorded. I just basically cabled the DualSense controller to the PC.
Yep.
To allow for the functionality of DualSense and the triggers and all that sort of stuff. Oh, what the fuck? Alright, whatever, piss off. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's a just a really fun, entertaining Ratchet and Clank game. I don't think it's particularly as well optimized as maybe you would like it to be. Apparently, it's the ray tracing that's not as well optimized as it quote unquote should be.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I was having issues that seemed very memory leak-ish, where I'd play it for 2-3 hours,
Yep.
and it'd just tank the frame rate.
Oh, after a period of time, it just get worse and worse over time. Oh, okay.
Yeah. What the hell? What's up with the bloody email client on Windows 11?
I have no idea.
I'm trying to open the email client, right? Oh, that's why. Okay, it's been dumb. Man, this thing really is dumb. Fuck this. So yeah, Ratchet and Clank, really enjoyable. I'll just have to keep looking off my phone because I can't get the bloody email client on this thing to work properly yet. I really got bothered by invisible walls in the environment. Like, trying to explore the environments and trying to get the collectibles and everything else, you'd try and jump through sections that graphically appear to be open holes to be able to hop through, but they'd put an invisible wall there so it would prevent you from getting through.
Okay, yeah, I mean, this game, as it says on there, came out
2021 on the PS5.
About 2 and a bit years ago on the PS5, and I can't really remember much about that,
but yeah, I played it on the old PC. It's pretty good. I got stuck in one of the last missions where you're meant to use the phase dash to get through like the walls that had the big X's on them.
Again,
but because you don't actually do that, you don't actually do that for a good, I don't know, 8 to 10 hours since the first time you do it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So it's like, what the fuck am I meant to do? It's pissed me off. But there wasn't a tooltip that came up, or the characters are really good about like constantly reminding you what you need to do, where you need to go, how you need to do it. Rivet didn't say a goddamn thing. So I'm sitting there bashing my head against it, like, what's? And then I looked it up. I'm like, oh, dickhead. So yeah, I got all the collectibles. I went back in and did. I've got most of the trophies or achievements. There's 2 I'm missing for the Craggy Bear. Finding all the Craggy Bears and then getting all the achievements.
Okay.
But you can't, outside of all the other collectibles, you can't track which Craggy Bears you found, which is kind of annoying.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm not doing that. I did start up the quote-unquote challenge mode to get the last 2 guns, the Pixelizer and the Bouncer.
Yep.
And I got to your first Rivet level, which was Saga something, the swamp level. But how much, whether or not I go back to that anymore, I'm yet to decide. But that thing's really fucking good. I wish some elements of the PC optimization were a bit better. But you know, PCs are hard to develop for.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's $95 on the Steam store in Australia. So it's a bit on the expensive side. That's roughly about the same price if you went into a store and bought the physical PlayStation 5 copy. So it's maybe even a bit cheaper, because that might have been over $100. Might have been 100 and
I think it was 110, 120 on release.
110 or 20. Might have been that much. So I don't think
I can't remember if I bought it on sale or if I bought it when it first came out. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I'm half tempted just to buy it just to see how it goes on PC with a controller. But $95 is a lot of money to spend for that kind of experience. I'd probably wait until if it came on sale and it was like $50 or $60. I'd probably jump.
So I grabbed Spider-Man Remastered and Miles Morales on Steam when it was on sale about a week and a half ago.
Yeah, I think
with the whole thing being, Spider-Man 2 will come to PC a year or 2.
Yeah.
So, hey, I'm going to play those 2 games on there, despite the fact this fucking idiot has them out there on the PlayStation. But yeah, so at some point I am looking at getting a new monitor to replace the Predator that I'm currently looking at. Asus have a 4K OLED 32-inch prepped
Okay.
for Q1 next year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm sort of sitting back waiting for, kind of saving for right now.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Starting this was a function of the old electric company was doing some maintenance work in my area.
Mm-hmm.
It was meant to be finished by 3 o'clock. I was still in a meeting at work when I got a message about 4 o'clock saying it's not going to be ready until 6. Like, you fucks. And then just before 6 o'clock, I got another message saying it wasn't going to be ready till about 7. So I booted up the old Nintendo Switch. I started playing me some Super Mario Brothers Wonder. I played a bit more because I had an event during the week. I played about another hour or two. About an hour or two. I've only played it in handheld mode right now, but fucking hell, that thing looks good.
Mm.
And
Yeah. This was at this was the big attraction, so to speak, at the Nintendo booth at Impact Australia. They had
would have been, yeah.
they probably had about maybe 2 dozen, maybe a dozen and more, maybe 15 or so stations playing this, and the queue to get
Yeah.
into that to play that was just long every single time I saw it. So I'm not going to worry about that. But yeah, I mean, it looked really good on all the things. Looking at people's shoulders and watching it, it does look really good in motion. So,
Mm.
but yeah, is it? So you're playing
Yeah.
it. Obviously, you're playing it single player. Obviously, it was.
Yep.
Obviously, it can be played that way. So how does it work when you're playing on your own? Because I think all the ones I was seeing had multiple people playing on the same. So that
It's just like playing a Mario game by yourself. There's a spot where you can turn the online on, and you have like ghosts of other players playing with you. But basically, every time I've played it so far has been offline because I either played it here when there was no power, so I had no
Mm,
internet, or I played it after work, at work,
mm,
or at the event venue. I got to the event venue a good hour and a half before anyone else was meant to get there.
mm.
So I just walked in, sat down, pulled it out, and started playing Mario.
But
And I
so
finished pretty much all the levels I had available up until that point, up until the castle, except for a 4-star difficulty level. And I tried playing that while talking and died a couple times. I'm like, fuck this.
I just thought
But yeah.
I thought the like as I said, I didn't play it, so I had no idea what the structure of the game was.
Mm.
But I thought all the characters were on the in the levels together all the time. But that's obviously not the case.
They can be if you're playing co-op.
Oh, sure. But if you're playing solo, you're
Yeah.
just playing with Mario, and that's all. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like you can play as Princess, you can play as Toad or Luigi, but none of them have any additional abilities. It's just cosmetic.
Okay.
So I'm just using Mario.
Okay.
You can either be Yoshi or Nabbit, and you don't take damage, but you don't get power-ups or pickups.
Mm.
So yeah, there's a bit of a trade-off there, but I'm just using Mario. The new Mario voice is fine. Most of the audio stuff is pretty good. The Prince, the Caterpillar Prince, he's cool. He's a cute little caterpillar, and he's like, "Yay!" So that's, I don't know, that's pretty good. Yeah. I'm enjoying it. It's just something to play on and off, particularly when it's like I can't be bothered playing anything big. Ideally, I'll play it watching shit after work after I've had dinner, but that hasn't happened yet.
We could just see what it's like performance-wise on the handheld. Fine.
Yeah.
I
don't know if it's I don't think it's an exact solid 60,
Mm.
but it still looks really nice. It still runs well enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Patch Quest, a dual stick shooter / roguelike, came out of early access earlier this year, which is why it's got May 7, 2021 on the release date. That was the early access release date.
Mm-hmm.
It was on sale for about $10 a couple weeks back, and it had very positive reviews. So I grabbed it. It's a pretty interesting idea where it takes sort of literally patches of land and sort of spins them together and stuff like that. And you can build your camp up by every now and then, as you level up, you'll get a pin where you can walk up to a tree and pin the tree and it'll drop into your camp.
Okay, yep.
Or you can lasso onto any of the enemies that pop up and you can create a mount. and you can just send that back to camp too. And the various fruits you pick up are the guns. So if you pick up a bundle of grapes, it's rapid fire. A bunch of bananas are homing bullets. Peaches are rocket launchers, essentially. Yeah, it's among the better of those sorts of games that have come out this year. I've uninstalled it because I got my $10 worth out of it. There is the inherent repetition of it being that roguelike-y style of game.
Sure. Yeah, yep.
Where it's fine. It's a really good one of those, but you have to know going in, like all of these sorts of games, you're going to be repeating yourself pretty frequently to actually make any substantial progress.
Yep.
Next. This thing. Again, another game that came out early access. Came out of early access, seemingly maybe April, by the looks of here. Farlight 84.
It's free to play.
Now this is hey.
It's free to play. Okay.
It is free to play. I stumbled upon this. I was looking for some stuff for the Friday show. Stumbled upon this. I'm like, let's give it a run. Third person battle royale shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Very Fortnite in sort of its appearance and all that sort of deal.
Mm-hmm.
My first game, which I literally played 2 games on the Friday show. The first one went for about 20, 25 minutes. Won, and I got like 17 kills. And then the second one, I don't know how that happened, if I was playing AI or what was going on. And then the next game, my squad got killed in about 5 or so minutes.
Okay.
So I don't know if it was just I got lucky in the first game and just happened to pick off enough dudes to get that 17 kills, or if I was playing AI, which when I did the Fortnite checkout and talking to other people about it, they were like, yeah, you probably played against bots or something, when I won 3 straight. Yeah, because there are times you can kind of tell, or at least you think you can tell.
Yeah.
But with Fortnite being as big and as popular as it is, I might have just been playing like 13-year-olds on a console and just absolutely smoking them. But yeah, if you want a Fortnite-like, but you don't want to give Epic any money, or you don't want to, which is a real dickish way to go about things, but this is available.
Yeah,
it is nowhere near as big.
Oh yeah, nothing will ever get to Fortnite, probably, for that matter. But looking at the steamcharts.com as we speak, it's got, in the last hour, it's had 11,500 people playing it. So you probably were playing against actual people. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I was playing against people and they just happened to be shite.
Yeah.
Because it's available on PC, Android, and iOS. It's not out on consoles yet.
Okay. Yeah.
So. Yeah, I don't know. It's the sort of, for lack of a better term, gear mechanic is fairly interesting in that you're not picking up, unlike Fortnite, where you're picking up like blue, grey, green, blue, purple, or orange variants of the guns.
Mm-hmm.
You just get the stock weapons, and then they quote unquote improve as you both shoot and kill people and level up, or as you pick up better and better like stocks and magazines and sights and things like that.
Yep.
But yeah, that first game I fucking rolled through. I was like, wait, this doesn't seem right. This seems way too easy. Because I fucking fucked people up. But anyway, speaking of getting fucked up, I well and truly hit the wall with this thing on Friday's show, literally 2 days ago, or 3 days ago. So for the first 3 hours, you're rolling around the space station that you're on, just sort of trying to avoid these androids who'll just walk up to you and choke you out.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the threat of the alien.
Mm-hmm.
And then at a point, the alien you get a sort of in-game cutscene where the alien comes out, you happen to avoid it, and it's like, whew, that was close.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought it was just going to be a thing where the alien would go up in the sort of vents, the shafts in the roof, of the station and then
Mm.
pop out if you fucked up.
Yeah, okay.
Nah, it'll just come out and wander
Oh, okay.
once you hit certain areas. But the actual areas are so relatively linear in design that there's only maybe 2 pathways.
Okay.
So it's and like you can't shoot it or cause damage to it. It'll just turn around and go rah.
Yeah.
You can hide in closets and stuff like that, but if you hide in closets and you use the motion tracker, it can hear the motion tracker
Yeah.
when it's quote unquote close enough.
Yep.
And then I had one where I didn't use the motion tracker. I was hiding in the closet. I got a prompt on the screen to press the right mouse button to hold my breath. That was literally up for about 2 seconds. As I've pressed the right mouse button, it's gone, whoop, ripped the door open and fucked me up. And it's like, all I can think of is comparing it to because Resident Evil 2, particularly the remake, has the Mr. X walking around like in a very similar fashion, but it's much easier to avoid, and you can't kill it, but you can like shoot it and stagger it and run away.
Yeah. Yep.
You can't do that here.
Yeah.
So it's so incredibly linear and puts you on very similar a path. I could bash my head against it and absolutely knock through it and get it done. Absolutely. Number one, apparently, according to Steam discussions, it gets worse. And number two, I really, really don't want to.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to. So what was going to be the staple of the Friday Night Fun shows for the next couple of months, maybe, is now not going to feature anymore. Or at bare minimum, I'm just like, nah, fuck this. It's still installed for some weird reason. I don't know why I haven't just given up and uninstalled it. But I really should. I was really enjoying it too. That's the sad part. I was really enjoying it and was thinking, like, the concept of the alien running around the vent and you having to be quiet because if it hears you, it'll come down the vent and fuck you up, then awesome. Great. I would have been with that fine. That it didn't do that and it just wanders. And like, it's incredibly easy to just, if it sees you, it runs up on you and you're done. I was trying to hack or rewire a panel, and out of all of a sudden, a slow-mo pulls out of the panel view, and you see the tail of the alien in slow motion come through the chest. It's like, oh yeah. I got jump scared real good, but not by the alien, by an explosion that I didn't expect. A side wall blew up, and I didn't expect it. And because my shoulders, it's not sore now, but when I like jolt or anything really hard, it like pulls.
Yep.
It did that again. Like, fuck. But yeah, I got to the end of that just cussing it and just like, fuck this fucking thing. Fuck off. And lastly, the patch I've been waiting for Jagged Alliance 3, which puts in, what's his name? Bobby's Ammo Shop, I believe it's called. Where is it? There. Bobby Ray's Guns and Things. Has gone live. Went live on Friday. So I finished off Ratchet and Clank on Saturday night. Tied it up some of the achievements I could be bothered doing in Ratchet, and then went into this to see how it is. The one thing you have to remember is that when you buy the items, even if you're literally standing on the delivery point, you don't automatically get the items. You have to go into the actual item stash to get them.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
So it's a touch inelegant on that front.
Yeah, so you can actually buy them, not actually walk away and think, I haven't, where they gone, sort of thing, and then, yeah, okay.
I did absolutely that.
It's a slightly interesting design choice.
Annoying.
Interesting design choice, yeah.
And then the last thing I was doing, I rolled up on a port, what I thought was a port. And as I've engaged it, it's like my six squad members, and then I look over to see how many the enemies got, and it's 23. I'm like, knocked off a fair few of them, but I wasn't going to finish it before we were due to start recording, and I had to add the games so it came up here and all that sort of thing. That game's still really, really cool. If you enjoy a XCOM-like experience, this is really going to, like, it. Not quite as polished, but I really enjoy it. I'm about 35-ish hours into it.
So how far do you think you're through the game? Does it give you an indication you're halfway through the story or whatever? Does it give you some indication of
So
that?
there's a tactical map where you can see how much territory you own or you have
Okay.
taken,
Yep.
and how much the enemy has. Um, I have about half the territory,
Okay.
and not every square you go on is going to be a fight.
Oh, okay.
It's only
Yep.
either major points or sometimes you'll get surprise little skirmishes that you can just auto resolve.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Um, I've got three or four total squads. I've got one set up at a really obvious choke point that the enemy always sends diamond shipments or gun shipments through.
Okay. Yep.
So I just leave them there and just auto resolve it every time and win.
Yep. Yep.
And then I've just got my main squad of 6 that I'm just like rolling around, taking all the different areas so I can
Yeah.
eventually just go and kill the dude I meant to kill.
Yep. But yeah. So
Um,
so is it a purely a territory gaining game in terms of the progression towards the end? Like if you get 100%, you win, kind of a thing.
there is a story of either the king or the prime minister or the president of this country has been kidnapped.
Yep.
He's being held in this location by the major, who's some shitty warlord of some shitty terrorist group or something like that.
Mhm.
And you have to find him, kill the major, get this dude back.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure I know where that is. It's
Yep.
just a function of, do I want to go straight there and try and do it, or do I want to take everything out to erase the possibility of reinforcements coming through and shit like that?
Okay. So that taking territory does make the game technically easier to go through it, so to speak.
I feel like it does, yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I currently have a hospital locked that I can't do anything about because there's a zombie outbreak.
Oh, that's inconvenient.
Yeah, so I can't do anything about it right now, and I need to find clues as far as what happened so I can help sort the shit out, apparently.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, it's really, really satisfying. I've got like at least 3 or 4 of my squad with like really dope sniper rifles and just pinging dudes from halfway across the map. So yeah, I'm really digging that game.
Makes sense.
So yeah, and just for viewing, I went and saw the Marvels on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it. Oh, maybe really is a too great a qualifier. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
Yep.
Yeah, just like it's probably among the better of the Phase 4 Marvel movies that they've done.
Okay.
And then there. So it's setting up a couple different things, and with the actors' strike seemingly finished, most of the Disney/Marvel movies are back on schedule. Not actually on schedule. A lot of them have been delayed.
They've been back on production at some level. Yeah.
Yeah. So the new Captain America is meant to be out next year.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Like September next year, which is the dude who was the Falcon is the new Captain America, I believe. I haven't watched the show yet.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
But yeah. Anyway.
Any much listens?
I got much listens, but we'll do that later.
Okay. All right. So let's do my stuff, I guess. So yeah, I have been playing. I've probably racked up about 5 or 6 hours, I think, now in Talos Principle 2. It was interesting to me.
Mike started playing it too.
Yeah, saw that. So I was interested to see what we had the demo was what, a month ago now, I guess, maybe a bit under.
Something like that.
When the demo came out, and obviously the demo was very much focused on here's the puzzle elements to do in this particular game. Like it basically takes you straight to the expedition thing we did, and takes you to the various parts of that sort of mysterious place. Whereas in the actual game itself, now that's actually out, instead of going to that big mission, basically one of the guys says you can go visit the city or something, which is basically where that big massive structure, you go up that big elevator, that's a whole city you can go and explore. So that's what I basically did for like an hour, just to see what was there, to see kind of what you could do in it. There's a couple of sort of places where you can you can sort of meet across some of the the citizens of the city, citizens, the robots that live there, and have sort of conversations with them about stuff. There's a museum, which is kind of funny because it's basically showing you bits of the first game in it, talking about the simulation of it. So it's kind of clever, and then you actually even do like there's like three exhibits that are basically the I think levels from the first game. I think that you basically repeat,
Oh,
and it's just that instead of having the little floating little piece you get, it's a little piece on a little like on a pole that when you click it, it just drops down. So it's basically replicating what the feature of the first game was. So I find
yeah.
that kind of funny and kind of neat. Um, so yeah, yeah. So in terms of what else you're doing in that part of the city, it's a lot of just walking around, and there's a couple of things that I'm sure there's more there to do ultimately, but I couldn't really sort of see it that makes it really obvious. It seems fairly enclosed. Like it seems big when you look at it from the
Yeah.
elevator, but um, it's pretty self-contained, I think. Whether I'll go back to that, whether there'll be some sort of prompt to go back to that city, or whether we just stay at the puzzle elements for the rest of the game, I don't know at this stage. Um, but once you um, play the, get go on that exhibition mission that was in the first in demo, um, it's basically got the same structure that the demo had. Except now you've in that first area you went to, you might recall there are 8 puzzles. You only could do 4 of them. Now obviously all 8 are available. Makes sense. And the and the people that join you on the expedition in the demo you don't see them at all. In the real game they're wandering around the environment with you, sort of thing. Not doing puzzles
Oh,
with you, but you can literally just walk across and just stumble across them walking and doing stuff. You can have a conversation with them and sort of find out what they are and who they are and that kind of stuff and what they do. Basically, just lore dumps in essence.
mm.
Don't seem to really progress, help you with puzzles or anything. So yeah, so it seems fairly like from that perspective, it's just kind of an open worldish in a way. Um, so yeah, like it seems like it's really I think what it'll be is once you've done in the first area, how they had 8 puzzles initially you could do. If you do 8 puzzles, the a pathway gets opened up
Mm.
to that big structure that was in that first area. Um, and that kind of is how you finish the demo in the first game. Is you completed 8 puzzles, and that allowed you to open up the section in the second area. You could do the same thing with. So I think you're going to have 6 or 7 puzzles, 6 or 7 areas, 8 puzzles in each at a minimum to do to finish the area, quote unquote, as a minimum level. But there's going to
Yeah.
be other things you can do in each area that'll allow you to do more puzzles and stuff like that. So I haven't seen anything so far. In the first game, there were puzzles that you actually were in the world in the open area. That like there would be like a puzzles that would actually go across environments, if that kind of makes sense. It's hard
Mm.
to describe them, but yeah, I think they're in the game, but I'm not too sure how to find them and sort of complete them, sort of thing. Um, but I'm really digging it. I really, really liked it. I mean, the demo sold me a lot, obviously, as you can imagine. But the full game is really, really is quite good. Is very good. And the game itself is like landed very well from every
Mm.
perspective. Game wise, even from a technical perspective, it seems to have been pretty solidly landed. So
Critical
it's
reception has been very
very,
positive.
very positive. Like it's 90+% or something on Steam. So it's landed
I think
very,
PC Gamer gave it 89.
yeah,
Rock Paper Shotgun gave it one of their bestest bests because they don't score reviews; they just have that sticker.
yeah.
It's apparently a fucking monster though, like 40, 50 hours.
Oh yeah, yeah. I could see it being really,
And
really big. Yeah.
I just knowing how much I struggled to finish that first one, and just the puzzles I got hung up on and when we did the checkout, I'm just like, man, I would really like to play this, but I know I'm too stupid to play it.
Yeah. Even because I said to you, you won't struggle with them too much in the puzzles that were in the game because I've done most of them. Yeah, some of the puzzles in the first area are already starting to go. How the
Fuck.
fuck do I do this one? so,
Yep.
so yeah. I mean, I just like the puzzle design they've created in that thing is really, really neat though.
Hmm.
But I mean, they've added new things with that RGB connector, which even though
Yep.
the color combinations don't make sense, you just write down
No, they do not.
how you just write down how they create them, and they're fine once you've got a record of what they do. But yeah, so I really am really liking that game a lot. And I was playing it on my. I've got a little short trip coming up to Melbourne in a couple of days. And I was playing it on my Ally and was still getting 45 frames a second even in the open environment. So
Yeah.
it seems to be pretty. Even the Ally can cope with it pretty well. So I've got a lot of options to play when I go over my little trip.
You still haven't finished fucking Dredge yet.
I haven't finished a lot of games. That's going to be my thing for next
That
year.
is true.
There's a lot of things I've started, and so I haven't finished yet again. But I love that game. So
I was going to say, there you go. There's your individualized category. Best game Graham didn't finish.
oh, that's any games. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
that wouldn't matter. One of those games I won't be playing on the trip because it requires keyboard and mouse is City Skylines. We sort of mentioned at the top of the show that we did do a check out of this. I've gone back and played with it a little bit since then, but the city's now around the 60,000 mark, I think, from memory. I think we got it to nearly
Around
over
45, I think, when we did the
I think
video.
45 to 50, I think, in the video, I think. So I played it a little bit longer. Yeah, really liking it. I haven't actually. I think we've now. I wasn't actually paying any attention to this, but I think the patch that went to Steam has now come to the Windows Store. But again, don't quote me on that because I haven't actually wasn't paying attention when I fired up the last time.
Nice one.
But yeah, that's yeah, not much really sad of that. I'm really digging that game a lot. It's it's got a lot of things to it I like that I think make it a little bit more approachable than the first game. I think they've added some things from. I think I sort of mentioned this in the video that will be lost of time at this point, but that a lot of things they've added to the City Skylines 2 came to City Skylines by the way of mods, by community mods, I think. And I think they've taken a few of those
mods or patches and stuff, they just added shit, yeah.
Added shit to it. So I think they've sort of built on that. Said, right, we've got this to a good point. Let's start a new one and sort of start from that gameplay mechanics in the new one and go forward. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with that game. But yeah, that's going to be a game that I'll just go in, play for an hour every now and then, jump out, that sort of thing. It's not going to. And eventually I'll turn on and go and play the version of the game that gets me achievements for doing stuff. So I'll do that at some point. But achievements don't drive my gameplay, so I'm not too fussed by doing that. And this morning, before we started recording, I jumped back into my time at Sandrock, which is the sort of the sequel follow-up to my time at Porsche.
Why does this show the 1.0 release here, but it didn't show it for some of the games I had?
It's down to the database. We're using the Internet Game Database for our source. So
so whatever data's in there is what it. Okay.
Is what we get. So yeah. Yeah. So I played this back originally when it came out sort of late last year, but I restarted the save because I had literally forgotten everything I'd done. So I thought I'm gonna just start again to see how they've changed the game from when I first played it, 6 or 7 months ago. I think at some point we'll do a video of this, but we'll give it a couple of weeks for me to get into it a bit more. The main difference between, other than the gameplay and the sort of the graphical style of this game, between the first one is pretty much everything is voice acted, and that wasn't the case in the first game. Yeah, so they've got an awful lot of voice acting, and their voice acting is pretty good, and the dialogue's pretty decent as well. So they've done a couple of other game mechanics, like they used to. There are machines you put your materials in to make other materials, like furnace and stuff like that. You had to give them materials to make them run before, which isn't my fault. That's still in this game. But there's a sort of like a base, a machine that I haven't actually used yet, but it also requires a base level of materials to run. So they've sort of made. They've still made aspects of that game a little bit on the slow side in terms of you're waiting for things to happen. And they've sort of extended that because it used to be a thing where you want to make I don't know, clay bricks, for example. So you need to put them in a furnace to make them. But in-game time, that it's going to take 10 hours to make whatever you wanted to make. You've got to wait for the in-game 10 hours to do it. So you can either go and do other stuff, or if you start it right at the end of the night, you go to sleep, come in the morning, they're all done, sort of thing. So they've taken that to an even sort of greater level in this game. So there's a lot of standing around waiting for things to happen at some level, which is part of the first game. So it's not unknown that that's going to be in this game. But I think they've done a bit more with that in some aspects of it. But as an early stage at the point, to see, if that's it got a bit too much in the first game, but you do things to make things happen quicker and speed things up towards the end of the game. So you're now at the beginning of the game, and things are going to take a while to do things. So it's not. I dig what they've done so far with this game. I think it's really really neat. And the fact that it's all voice acted is actually pretty impressive, considering there's a lot of characters in this game, and so far none of them that I've come across, which is probably so far is probably good 8 or 9, have not had voice acting. So there are, in the first game there were like 50 to 60 characters that you interacted with and had dialogue, interactions with. So if they've done the same level and they managed to get all this voice acting, it's pretty impressive just on the production side alone. So yeah, even though it's been in early access, there've already been 3 hot fixes since the game came out. So I think they're still patching it, which is, I think they're obviously using early access to get feature complete and that sort of stuff. Not so many, because obviously early access has got a different scale in terms of, who's playing it sort of thing versus early access versus game in release. So yeah, I'm really.
That's what Baldur's Gate 3's done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not as if it's they're not reinventing the wheel on that front. So, but yeah, that's my games. As I said, not a real lot, but I've probably spent 6 or 7 hours in Talos, and I think I spent about 2 hours this morning in my time at Sandrock. So, and I've still got, as you mentioned, a bunch of games I'll get back to. So I'm hoping that when we get to the 2nd of December, hopefully Steam World Build will stick to that date. And that'll be the last game of the year that I'm sort of looking forward to. I'll then have to figure out how the hell I'm going to find the time to at least finish some of the games I've started this year. Otherwise, there'll be a lot of, I played this game a fair bit but didn't finish it in our Game of the Year discussions early next year. So that's the other thing too, obviously. Our Game of the Year episode is normally in late January, so we give ourselves time in the early part of the year when we've got time off, well, at least I do. You obviously got heaps of time off at work because of your role. To play games and sort of get that stuff done before leading up to that Game of Year podcast. And hopefully there won't be many games in the first part of the new year that will drag my attention away. But if not, I'll just have to be strong and not play them.
I'm just gonna be strong.
Be strong.
I think there was something in early Jan or mid to late January that's. Oh no, they're not games you're into. Never mind.
Okay, cool.
Oh, Prince of Persia.
Okay, I mean, I think I can probably wait till that comes. Wait until after the.
Yeah. Prince of Persia comes out on the 18th of January, and for me, Tekken 8 is on the 26th of January, and neither of us will probably play Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, despite the fact I would really love to, but fuck me trying to keep up with those Like a Dragon games, or Yakuza.
Yeah.
Rather difficult. But, yes.
But I think it is time for the beginning of the end. So we have, normally we would know that Vertigo.
Ooh, I rattled my brain too much. Ooh.
Normally we have, when we're not being silly, we would be doing videos and hopefully having that actually work and put up on our YouTube channel. We've got over 200 videos there now, which is a lot considering there's only 2 of us. But yeah, we do checkout videos. We try and do a couple of checkout videos every week if we can. Next week we might even try and do one after we record. We're going to see if we've got enough time, which I think we will.
Might be alright this week.
We'll try and do a couple of checkout videos each week as we can. Obviously, Steve has his Friday night stuff he does, and Friday night fun is that what you call it now? Yeah. You're not
fun.
You're not doing your fighting stuff generally. This just gets bundled into the Friday night fun stuff generally now.
I haven't played Street Fighter in a good while. I
Okay.
think that game has left me behind in the dust.
Yeah, that game might have passed you by for in terms
Yeah,
of
that game
skill.
has well and truly passed me by.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat, I was never even on the tracks to begin with.
Yep.
To the point I've actually uninstalled Mortal Kombat.
No, okay.
It had like a fucking 10 gig patch or something because I think they finally put Omni-Man in maybe on Friday.
Okay.
And I got home, there were some updates to do. I was like, set it off, and I was like, man, fuck this.
Yeah.
So then I just uninstalled Mortal Kombat.
Yep.
Street Fighter's still installed.
Yeah. Okay. So you might get back to it, but yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll. Yeah. As I said, we'll do a couple some videos in the next week or so to head out the week. But we'll be back for another podcast in a couple of weeks. But before we do that, any must listens you mentioned briefly before?
I do have a couple of must listens. Oh wait, I've got the email here. There we go. 3 must listens for this week. Suffocation's new album, Hymns for the Apocrypha. The bloody autocorrect added apocryphal. Fucking pain in the ass. Necrotic Gore Beast, one word, with an album called Repugnant. Pretty much matches the tone of the lyrical content and all that sort of stuff. Just some good old fashioned brutal death. And a band called Pyrexia did a re-recorded version of an album they called System of the Animal for their 25th anniversary of that album.
Okay.
And yeah, re-recorded, so it sounds 2023 quality, and it's another very good. All 3 brutal death albums this week. Not much on the deathcore front or the slam front, but some very good, very heavy stuff.
Excellent.
I may have shown a snippet of Necrotic Gore Beast to just basically because you hear the lyrics, and it's actual lyric videos.
Okay.
So you can see what the actual lyrics are meant to be. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Did you want to quickly have a look at some of the games we didn't quite touch on during the November Should I Play This thing?
Probably not, because my headset is slowly going flat. So
ooh, that's a problem.
Let's wrap this up before it dies on me. So
yes, that is a problem. Oh, then you can't talk, and I can just run this shit. Bang!
But I can stop recording. So.
Oh fuck.
So let's wrap this up, because as I said, my headset's about to die on me. It's been beeping at me for the last half an hour or so, telling me it's getting flat. So that has been episode 290 of the Should I Play This Game podcast for the 13th of November. We'll be back in a fortnight with a new podcast.
And there goes the battery on the headset. Graham's literally talking and no one's hearing what he's saying. There we go. It's ending. We'll see you next week. Videos and stuff. Twitch.tv/Enemy Starship. Graham smells. Ha ha!